putting a wrap on RV number 4 for us, and we're getting ready to buy our new RV, so we can't wait to show it to you.
All right.
Matt and Stacy, and we are connecting journeys.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll start. Okay, I'll take it and we'll start. I'm Matt, and this is Stacy, and we are Connected Journeys. So for those of you who don't know us, we met back in 2012 and started dating, and we were married in 2013.
One year later, it was
1 year
just
later.
on our third date where we decided to get married.
Yeah.
When you know, you know.
We
It was
did.
very quick.
It took us a long time to find each other,
It did.
but when we did, we were on it.
We were on it.
And if you know a little bit about our personalities, you know we're kind of like that. When we make a decision to go, we just
do.
kind of go.
We do. So that was how we met. It was a fun little story, but I always love hearing how people meet. Bonus points if you share how you were engaged. We had a fun story. Maybe one day we'll share that too.
Yeah. So I grew up in Alabama and moved to North Carolina about 18 years ago. Completed my graduate work at UNC Chapel Hill, and then have spent a good bit of my career in the corporate world, and just recently, probably in the last 6 or 7 years, moved over to academia, and I'm a college professor now. So I teach primarily online.
And I am a marriage and family therapist specializing in couples and trauma work. Set up my own practice in 2021. And I have some fun things that I'm making for the RV community. So we'll be introducing those at some point soon. Really excited about incorporating the work that I do with RVing, because we love to RV. It's a passion of ours. And we wanted to create this channel to kind of help people stay connected while they're on the road. First, we wanted to introduce you to ourselves and why we chose the RV we did, and kind of just how we got here.
Yeah, so it's been quite a journey for us. We really both, I think we were talking about it the other day, our journey towards wanting to RV really started when we were kids. So both of our grandparents owned RVs, and Stacy got to travel with hers a little bit more than I got to travel with mine, but just, it was so much fun. And so we'd always kind of been dreaming about this. When we first got married, we really wanted one.
Matt was so excited. I don't even
yeah.
know how he got into it. And it was when we were living in Greenville. I think you just started watching YouTube videos. And
Yeah.
he was like, you know what? I think we should get an RV one day. And I was like, okay, sure. I like to RV. Why not? Let's give it a try.
Yeah. Well, and we love to travel. We've always loved to travel. And so, like, going away for a weekend trip was just so expensive. By the time you paid for, like, lodging and food and transportation and all the things
And
to
we
get
had
you
Bella
there.
by then, so that was another expense.
Exactly. We had to board Bella, which we always hated to board Bella. We like to take her with us.
She's so cute. It's hard to leave her behind.
It's very true. It's very true. So we started dreaming about it, but we were still kind of paying off student loans and going through graduate school and all those things earlier in our marriage. And so finally in 2019, we were able to buy our first camper, which was a 2020 Grand Design Xplor. I don't remember the model number.
We were living in, at the time we had just come from Greenville, North Carolina, where I finished graduate school there. I particularly loved that model because the back was just a bathroom.
I love that bathroom.
So we both could like move in it, and we wouldn't get in each other's way. And the couch faced the TV, which is really important for us.
That was huge.
Because we like to watch TV together.
Yeah. And it was a very basic model, but the nice thing about it was that we could afford to pay cash for it. So like we really wanted to do that for our first camper, and I really wanted a fifth wheel. Like, I was super excited. I just got my first truck, which I was so excited about. It was a 2019 Ford F-250, and it had a diesel engine. So I hadn't had a truck in a very long time, so I was really excited about it.
I think he was more excited about the truck than the RV.
Oh yeah. But I was like, we can pull a fifth wheel with this truck, and so I was really excited about that. But the fifth wheels were a lot more expensive, and so we decided to go with travel trailer for our first rig.
And we took it around mostly locally to northern Georgia. I don't even know the farthest we went in it. It wasn't very far.
Yeah, maybe Raleigh. Raleigh might have been the furthest we went.
Yeah, because that's the one Bella got sick in.
It is, yeah.
And we had to learn how to clean under the slides. It was absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, it was bad. We can tell you lots of RV stories.
Some of the trips. And then in 2020, I was in Tennessee doing something, and Matt had to get some work done on it. And so he took it down to Georgia, to the RV place. And he called me, and he was like, "So I think I found our next RV." And I was like, "I didn't know we were looking for a next RV." And it was the height, like getting right towards the height of 2020 and COVID. So I wasn't even sure what traveling would look like, and what would happen there. But I got that phone call from Matt. He's like, "I found a perfect one. I think you should come and take a look at it." I was like, okay, well, let's go do it. So I drove like 2 hours down there to meet you. And
so in the beginning of COVID, nobody was buying campers. So like the first month or two. And so this particular dealership would sell about 120 campers a month. And I happened to see on their sales board that it was like the end of the month and they had only sold like 4.
Sales. Sales is what brings us together today.
And so I was like, we might be able to get a good deal on this one. And the other thing I really liked about it was one of the only, I think it might have been the only fifth wheel that Grand Design made that would fit our, payload numbers and our gross vehicle weight numbers and all the things that we needed to be able to pull it with the truck that we had. And that was the last year that they were making that particular floor plan. So.
Yeah, he got all technical about it, but as soon as I walked in, I was like, ooh, this is nice, because it had the opposing slides, so the living room felt big. It had a kitchen island, which we didn't have in the other one. It was affordable.
Yeah. We
could fit more clothes in it so we could take longer trips, because we might want to take a longer weekend trip. Who knows?
Yeah. But it had the slide in the bedroom too. So that opened up kind of the bathroom and bedroom area and made it feel a lot bigger. And we had more closet space in that one.
And that was really a blessing in disguise, because some things happened in 2020 and we ended up selling our house and just kind of traveling around the country in 2020, living in the RV and just doing our thing there. We visited like 13 national parks or something like that.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and we couldn't have done it in the smaller RV very well.
And it just towed so much better. Like having the fifth wheel was just so much easier to hook up, to disconnect, and be able to travel and hop around quickly, which we did a lot of in 2020.
Yeah. So we had so many adventures in that particular RV.
That was awesome. Yeah.
And I think at that point for me, I realized, I could probably live in this and it'd be okay. Because I didn't miss anything that was in storage. But there was no way I could work in that particular layout, so that was kind of a hurdle for that. But I think that again really opened up the doors for me to be like, this is maybe something that we could do one day.
Yeah, we considered really buying like a bigger one and just living in it full time at that point. But you know, our jobs worked out to where we were both kind of living, working in the same city, and we thought, well,
In person.
having a house probably makes more sense for our current situation. So that's kind of what we ended up doing.
Yeah.
So that kind of takes us to 2021, and so in October of that year we decided to sell it, and we were like, you know, we just bought a new house, we're in Raleigh, there's a lot to do, like let's just kind of take a break from RVing for a little while.
But we couldn't get that RV life out of our blood. It was in there.
Like, that was literally October, and then we were planning to go see our families for Thanksgiving, and we were like, well, I mean, we need an RV to go see our families for Thanksgiving because we got the dog and all that kind of stuff, and so we decided to rent an RV. And we were like, you know what? Like we've done a travel trailer, we've done a fifth wheel. Like I want to do something motorized, and so we started talking about that, and so we rented a Class A motorhome.
It was horrible.
We can do a whole video on it, but let's just say there were all kinds of biohazards, and it was a terrible experience.
Oh, dude, that is nasty.
But we decided that we were going to go to an RV show in Greensboro in January, and we spent the whole day looking around, didn't see anything Class
We brought
A,
the
Class
checkbook
C.
for some reason. If you go to an RV show, just don't bring your checkbook. Just leave all your money at home because you will make mistakes.
Yeah. Well, so we got to the end of the show, and we're just getting ready to leave, having found nothing that we really liked motorized, and we went to this one little section.
We weren't even looking for something. We were just going to see what's out there.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we would want something different, so let's go take a look.
I was probably looking for something, if I'm honest.
Horrible. That's why you brought the checkbook. You were secretly looking for something.
But anyway, so we found this Entegra. It was a gas Class A motorhome. It's about 38 feet long. And we really, really liked it. And it just kind of shows, like, every rig is so different, like, between Class A's and Class C's and all that kind of stuff. We thought we had combed over the thing, and we're like, this is the one.
I liked the idea of being able to, like, cook things and do food and going back to use the bathroom and taking a nap while Matt's driving because he likes to get up early. So there were certain things about it that appealed to me.
Yeah.
And the living space felt nice in it, too.
I really liked the onboard generator and the idea that you could kind of, like, if we wanted to stay at a Cracker Barrel or something, we could pull in, hit the button to let the levels down, pop out the slides, and if we weren't going to disturb anybody, like if we were the only ones in the parking lot, we could just crank up the generator and have our air conditioning or heat or whatever we needed.
For harvest hosts and stuff like that, because sometimes we didn't even have to get out of the RV.
Yeah, and we were able to tow our Ford Escape behind it as a flat tow, and so we had a smaller car, so if we wanted to go up into the Northeast or into some small towns, we had a vehicle that was better suited for that particular purpose than like a, long bed dually, pickup truck. So the things we really didn't like about the Class A motorhome were that, it was gas, number one. So like you had to find fuel stations that you could get that huge rig in with our tow car behind us and all that kind of stuff. That was sort of a pain. Had the beautiful big windshield that it was awesome when you're coming through the mountains or by a lake or river. Like it was beautiful, but it let in a ton of heat and cool in the winter time, and so it was kind of less than ideal from that perspective.
Bella did not like it at all.
Bella hated it.
She couldn't grip anything. She was sliding. She would constantly kind of go in between me and the front of the RV and just kind of squeeze herself in there.
I called her a drama queen because she would just claw like she was being drug off the face of the earth every time we would take a turn. Like
She's dramatic.
She's very dramatic. But, and then, I think the other thing I didn't like, so Ford, even though they make the chassis for that particular camper, not all of their dealerships, in fact, most of them don't work on the motorhome chassis. So we lived in Raleigh, which had like close to 2 million people, and there was not a single Ford dealership that would work on them in our area. So we had to drive like an hour and a half each way to find someone to do basic stuff like warranty repairs and things. So it wasn't my favorite rig, but it did have its pluses.
It did have its bonuses to have, and I did enjoy it. There was a lot of things that made me not want to go back to one, but we did have some fun adventures in it.
Yeah, so that was back in 2023. We decided that so we found this Grand Design Solitude, and it was like the perfect floor plan for us at that time.
It.
And it was, so they were stopping to, that like 2023 was the last year they were going to make them. It was another one of those situations, but it was the Grand Design Solitude 373 front bathroom. And it had this beautiful big bathroom we like our big bathrooms apparently.
Double sink.
Yeah.
Big shower, and then like a walk-in closet area beyond that at the very front of the RV. It was
like
just a
French doors that led into this big bathroom suite.
Perfect layout.
Had the really nice big master bedroom with a ton of storage. And the other thing we really liked is when you walked in the door, there was a half bath immediately in front of you that was accessible, while you had the slides in. You could also go and walk a few more steps, and the whole refrigerator was accessible with slides.
Being able to open up the refrigerator door with the slides closed and get to a bathroom is a big deal. So that's one of the things we always look for.
Definitely.
Anytime we ever trade an RV. If it doesn't have that, then we don't get it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we had to find a truck. So we had a house with a garage, and we really wanted to be able to fit our truck into the garage. So we looked for a Ford F-350 single wheel diesel truck, and I found one in Kentucky. And so, this all happened really quickly.
He called me, and I was laying on the couch watching TV, and he called me and he goes, "So I found a truck, and it will fit with the RV, and I found the RV, but we have to go get the truck this weekend."
No pressure then.
We had this decision to make very, very quickly if we're going to trade the RV and the truck and do all of that.
Because Grand Design wasn't making that trailer anymore, and there were only 15 of them left in the country, and I found one. We found a flight that would get us there the very next morning. So we left at 6 o'clock in the morning.
So early.
And we had to get to the dealership by 3 o'clock or something because they closed at 5. So we flew out, and Stacy went with me. It was a lot of fun. It was beautiful.
He loves his trucks.
Yeah, it was a red F-350.
So then we went to pick up the Solitude.
Yeah. And dropped the motorhome off. And we always took those pictures that are probably on the screen right now, where we have the old camper and the new camper parked kind of next to each other.
It takes a hot minute to transfer everything over, especially that mattress.
The good thing is we had a house at that point, so we were able to kind of unload most of the things out of the motorhome into our garage, our third garage. And then that way, when we brought the new one home, we could kind of load the new one this time at home instead of having to move so much stuff from one rig to the other.
So the Solitude, I think one of the best trips I remember taking in it was Banff.
Yeah, Banff National Park. So we went all the way from North Carolina to Banff National Park and back in 16 days.
2 weeks. It was a lot.
We were hauling boogity to get up there. And I think we only had 3 days in Banff National Park. By the time we got out there and back, we didn't have much time at all.
Again, we make a decision and we just go do it. And
we really wanted to see it, and at that time there was no option for us to go fully remote, and so we just had to use whatever vacation time we had. A lot of you guys are probably in that situation where you're weekend warriors, and you've got you've got to kind of be at work, but you get maybe 2 weeks a year off.
Gotta make the most of it.
It's just go do it. I would encourage you to go out and take advantage of that time, and if there's something you really want to go see, just make it happen. It may be a little bit exhausting, and you may not come home refreshed, but you will have had a really cool adventure in the process.
I think that some of my funnest memories was just the random last minute things that we did.
Remember what to do, friends. Now tell me right out loud. What are you supposed to do when you see the flash?
And it's been a great rig. It tows really, really well and has just been a lot of fun. We've made a lot of great memories going to see family and touring around kind of the Southeast, and then our one big trip to Canada in it in this past year was a lot of fun. And so then we started talking about, what would be something that would work for the two of us to be able to work at the same time and to be able to
especially with our unique jobs. Like, so for mine, I have to have a very private space, obviously, because
fully confidential, that's soundproof and all that kind of stuff.
So we kind of toyed around with a couple of different ideas, and we kept coming back to toy haulers because it just made sense to have a separate space. But all of the ones we saw, we didn't like the living space because it seemed like the RV itself was made to just haul toys, and we didn't want to. We don't have golf carts and four-wheelers and
side
stuff
by
like
side.
so, yeah,
So,
we
although
didn't
I
have
wouldn't
anything
mind
like
a side by side. If there's any companies out there that like have side by sides, I wouldn't mind.
discount code. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't have any toys back
Right.
there, but we needed just a space for me to work, and we needed the 1.5 bath. We had gotten used to that, I think, in the Solitude. So we looked around, and I think we were at a Grand Design rally when we got introduced to Brinkley.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
And we fell in love with the make of it, just how it was laid out, how it was designed, the color scheme. Just we walked in it and were wowed. And
I had found, like, we were just thinking about it. We really hadn't decided to move forward or anything. And I found that there was about 15 minutes from our house, they were doing, like, our local dealership was doing an RV show. And they happened to have a Brinkley, and also that there were going to be Brinkley reps there. And so we were like, oh, we should go check that out.
So we went over and they turned on the sound system outside, and I just fell in love with it. I love music. I was having so much fun with that. And somewhere around that point, I think we decided that if we were going to do full time, which was our goal, that we really wanted to have this particular unit because it made sense for both of us, for our jobs, for what we like to do. It had this huge TV, and we like to be couch potatoes sometimes.
Definitely. You know, some nights you just need to, like, veg out and just watch a good movie and have the fireplace going and all those kinds of things. But
Yeah. Matthew, tell us how it is to drive this away.
This is amazing. It's amazing. It is so big. It feels like way bigger than the Solitude.
We are headed on our very first trip in our new Brinkley.
so excited about it. We clearly like the learning button on, with this being our 5th rig. So it's a lot of fun kind of learning a new rig, but also a little bit like, you know, nervous. Like you got to make sure you know how, you know, all the systems work and you're doing everything the right way. So it's a lot of fun. Shakedown trips are so much fun.
They are. Still got a lot to learn and a lot to do. Bella is excited to go, as you can see.
I gotta tell you, having a puppy in a truck that only has 388 miles on it hurts my heart, but I do love our puppy, so she gets to go.
She says thank you. So in editing this video, I realized that we didn't talk at all about our Shakedown trip, the very first time we took our RV out, why we do it, why we choose the places that we do, and thought we should rewind back and give you all that information.
Yeah.
So why do we usually do Shakedown trips? What are they for?
Yeah, I think shakedown trips are really important. So, you know, you go through a demo when you buy an RV and they test all the systems in front of you and make sure things are working. But until you've really camped in it and spent some time in it, you really are not going to find those little things that are wrong or maybe not working properly. So we always like to go to a nicer kind of resort type place to do a shakedown trip, just because it, you know, things are clean. It's a brand new rig. You don't want to take it out into a mud hole the first time. And like, if you've got something you need to mess with because it's not working properly, you don't want to be crawling on the ground in the mud to fix something. So, you know, we like a place with a concrete pad or just a little nicer, like full hookups, that kind of thing, just so we can test out all the systems and make sure things are working. We usually try to stay like an hour, hour and a half from our house, or no more than that, just in case there was some kind of catastrophic failure that made us have to return home or whatever on the first round. We've never had that happen in 5 units, knock on wood, but you just want to be prepared. And so that's, you don't want to go halfway across the country on your first trip and then realize your water heater is not working and now you can't take a shower, or the water pump's not working, or you know, some of the core features of the camper are not
Yeah.
like they're supposed to be.
I think no matter how many RVs you've had and how experienced you are in using an RV, every new RV you get, you should do a shakedown trip because you need to understand how this one in particular works and all of its weird quirks and things that you like and things that you don't like about it. We discovered quite a bit about this RV that we loved. We discovered things that we wanted to change in that first trip, and so we learned a lot. So those shakedown trips are super important to do every time.
Yep.
For our shakedown trip, seems to fit. The truck actually has a space to park that is not in front of the door, which is great. And there's going to be space for us to stick our patio out, which is even better. So mental note, if you stay at Sun Outdoors in Myrtle Beach and you have a Brinkley 3950, you are going to need either a pull-through side or an edge back inside if you want to use your door and your patio. So good to know.
Once we got it home, I didn't even want to go back into our house. I just wanted to stay in it in the driveway.
We didn't. Every time we went out, we just didn't want to come back home. I didn't want to load and unload it. We just wanted to go. And every time we came home, we just looked at each other and we're like, "Oh, I don't want to go inside. Let's just find somewhere else to go."
Yeah.
So I was already working virtually in my practice, and eventually Matt found a job that enabled him to do the same, which was really kind
huge
of the
blessing.
last
Huge
thing
blessing.
that we were looking for to be able to do it. So once that happened, we sold our house. It is 2024. So we sold our house and moved into the Brinkley.
Yeah, and we've had so many amazing adventures. And I just I would never go back. I can't imagine going back to a regular house.
All of our stuff is in storage, and except for wishing I had a sweater currently because it is the winter season, I don't really miss anything.
Well, and I will say, I occasionally miss like the nice tile shower with really good water pressure and some of those things, or like a bathtub, you know. Sometimes, like I miss a few of those like amenities.
I think for me, the adventures that we've had is worth all of the changes that we've made to get to this point.
Definitely.
And just sharing this smaller space than a house, but we have been to so many places. And I wouldn't trade it for anything.
No. And I think, you know, we've been through a lot of RVs. Not the best financial thing to do. I'll go ahead and say that. But I think it was really such a cool experience to get to spend time in a travel trailer and to get to spend time in a smaller fifth wheel and a larger fifth wheel and a Class A and a toy hauler. They all have their own unique purposes, and we know so much more now, and we've learned so much more about what we like and don't like, and it's been an awesome adventure.
Yeah. So if you are looking at possibly doing this one day, go to an RV show, check out the different types of styles, figure out what you like, you don't like, rent some, spend a few nights in some and see what works for you and what you're looking for, because what you like may be different than what we like. We have reasons that we like and don't like each type of style, and that's us. So figure out what you like, figure out what you can do, and get out on the road as soon as possible because there's so much to see.
I love what Keep Your Daydream says, you know, start small, start now. Like start where you are and go. We've all, you know, seen people that have had these dreams of traveling, and for one reason or another, they've just not been able to do it. And Stacy and I were like, you know what? As soon as we can get on the road, as soon as we can do this, we're going to do it because you don't know what the future holds. And, you know, we want all of these adventures. I want to do this for 40 years if we can. You know?
We have met so many people on the road who ask us what we do. To be able to do this and say they wish they were able to do it sooner because they missed out on doing so many fun things in their lives. So
and even if it's just as simple as buying a little pop-up camper and taking your family out on a weekend, like get started somewhere. Like
Yeah.
just go and have fun. Our tent, gosh, we started camping in
did.
tents, and
We did.
I don't want to go back to that, by the way. But I mean, we did it.
Yeah.
We got to the tent enabled us to go places and see things that we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise.
Yeah. So figure out what you can do and get out there and start making those memories as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Thank you, pressure cooker. What a good ending.
Nice.